another kind of mass that is also a bit of a mystery, which you don't understand is a mystery until you delve into it and start reading about what we all actually are told in schools and all that. Is where the oceans come from, where the water comes from. And there's been this this very dominant theory that I remember I learned many decades ago that, they thought that it has come from space, from asteroids crashing on Earth with ice on them. And in that way, water has arrived on Earth. But then lately, there has been, by lately, I mean the last maybe 20, 30 years or so.
The last decade.
Yeah, the new findings show that water actually exists within this planet to a large amount. And that it's we talked about this a little bit last time also. It's a mineral called ringwoodite, which can contain enormous amounts of water, not in the runny form that we are used to seeing it, but still it's H2O within that that mineral. And I was reading the other day in National Geographic. There was an article in National Geographic. I think that magazine, for the most part, just conveys the mainstream science as it is today. And it says that most of the mantle is rocky, and enormous quantities of hydrogen and oxygen could be trapped inside. Researchers estimate that as much as 10 oceans of water may exist within the mantle. I know you talked about 3, but now they're talking about 10 oceans.
Yeah. They are estimates, and we are sure there are more than one time the oceans over.
Yeah,
it's locked inside ringwoodite, inside the crust.
Yeah, and this is also just to complete my question or whatever it is here. That means that when the Earth has expanded and the crust has deformed and the oceans or the parts that are now oceans have opened up, then of course a lot of water has probably seeped out onto the Earth's floor and created these oceans. And that's the explanation because it's a bit of a mystery where the heck did this water come from?
Yeah, we just don't know. And of course, science likes to try to answer these questions. But how is the Earth formed? Where did this water come from? Why is it? How did it come inside of the crust? I'm more or less not very interested in this story. I'm more interested in human history in relation to the Earth. So there are tales about the Earth flooded completely.
Yeah.
And there are explanations for this. But these stories are the massive ice caps on the hemisphere that were melting, and then so sea levels were rising, and then cities had to move over, and were flooding, and so on. But this is not what the myth is telling. The myth is saying clearly, all over the world, all ancient tribes say the complete Earth was flooded. And this is an oral tradition. And I attach much value to oral traditions. So when I knew, of course, the story of Noah, and this is in the Bible, but this doesn't come from the Bible. It comes from Sumerian tablets. They're ancient. And where does that come from? Does it come from something else? Or is it oral tradition written down? We just don't know. But it's clear that the story tells one day God was angry, and he decided to flood the earth because of evil people, giants, Nephilim. You know this story. Just Bible is a thick book, and just this part is just in Genesis a few pages, and then because it's lost, the story is lost. It's just from bits and pieces of. And when you know that, we know for sure that inside the crust there is massive amounts of water locked in ringwoodite. And ringwoodite can only contain water under pressure in its matrix structure. So when you release the pressure, it starts to bleed water,
Hmm.
start to release water. And when you imagine an expanding Earth, it starts to. So let's not talk about compression or expansion solely. Just I will, for simplicity, mention expansion. So it grows. Then the crust is cracking open. And then along all these thousands of miles, of kilometers of crack line, there's ringwoodite exposed to atmospheric pressure. So it starts to bleed water in massive quantities, like fountains. And when you look through this process from a perspective of a filmmaker, you would make a movie about this. And imagine the Earth was small, just from in the beginning. Let's imagine the Bible. In the beginning, there was a small Earth, and this Earth started to expand, and the crust was cracking open due to this expansion. And water came out along all these cracks and flooding the Earth completely. But the Earth started to continue its expansion process. So the continents were slowly drifting apart, and there were basins forming. And these basins we call oceans today. So the water is slowly retreating from the continents and flowing back into the basins. And then one day, this expansion process came to a halt. The Earth was again in its tranquil mode. Civilization started to thrive. Civilization started to settle along coastlines. There are some oral traditions about a time there was catastrophes. These are just tales along the campfire. We look around and think, there's nothing going on here. And then again, it starts again. And so this expansion continues.
Yeah.
There's another catastrophe.
That's a blockbuster script you have there.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster script. And so these cracks again, because there's still ringwoodite inside the crust in massive quantities. So this cracking starts all over again.
Yeah. So
now it comes from inside the oceans. So again, the sea levels start to rise massively and flooding the continents again. And I think what the Bible refers to, or the Sumerian tablets, or all the myths, is the latest catastrophe. So the movement from pole 2 to pole 1.
Hello, my friends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with your friends. Please support the channel if you can. I appreciate all the support. You can become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or you can make a one-off donation via PayPal if you wish. All the links are in the description box below. Thank you.